I would like to relate some experiences that I had about 2 years ago. My mother was in hospice. She had lung cancer and was dying. And I went into her room and I had my collar on and my shirt. And she smiled at the nurse and she said, "I brought my own clergy." And that was just after the chaplain of the hospice had been visiting. And the interaction between Mom and I was the same. I would speak to her and she'd hear my voice and she'd give me that soft, gentle grin. And I knew that she was still hearing me. But I also knew that there was another world that had beckonings on her. I was talking to one of the nurses there in hospice at Mom's bed. She was out. She was sedated. And the nurse told me, she said, if a nurse comes in to work at hospice, and this is the place where the people are dying, and there's just a place of comfort for them while they make the transition. It's kind of a hospital for the dying. The nurse said, if somebody or some nurse gets a job here in hospice and is not a believer, if she stays any length of time, she has to be a believer. She has to know that there's something beyond us. And as we were talking, we were looking at Mom, and she had her eyes closed. And she raised her finger, and she beckoned like this. And I've seen her do that 1,000 times through my life. And the nurse said, "They're coming for her." And I knew it was time to let go of Mom. The only person at that time who had always believed in me, always encouraged me, no matter what the odds were. And I got down beside Mom's bed and I prayed. And I said, "Mom, I don't want to be selfish. I don't want to keep you here. I know you've cried for Papa many, many times." And I said, "I know that he's coming for you, Mom. He's going to meet you. And you guys will be together again." And I told her, I said, "Mom, will you do one thing for me? If heaven is as beautiful as I've told you it is, and that I've preached that it is, will you slam a door for me? Or give me a sign?" And at that time, she came to herself. And she said, "I will." And she was smiling. The next morning, I got out of my bed and was going to take a shower in the shower next to my room. The doors were locked. My brother was there in the other bedroom, but he was asleep. I had a friend visiting in Arizona from the cold north. And as I closed the door, I closed the door and I was adjusting the water so that it wouldn't be too hot. And all of a sudden, there were two loud bangs on the door. And I thought for a minute that my friend had come in house, or my brother had gotten up and was kidding around with me. And I said, I'm trying to take a shower here. There was no answer. I thought nothing more of it. When I got out of the shower, I walked through the front room, drying myself off. As I passed the room where my brother was sleeping, or my brother was, I saw that he was still sound asleep. I checked the doors and they were still locked. And I remembered my friend didn't have a key to the doors of our house. Was this Mom's promise? Because I know that heaven is as beautiful as I've said it is, or even more so. The Bible says that words cannot explain. Words cannot express. There have been no words invented that could express the beauty, the peace, and the love of that place. As I sat there the day before the morning Mom passed away, I was sitting there watching her lips. She was out again. And I had already told her, I said, Mom, I got your message. I got it. And all of a sudden, she spoke the words, Daddy. Daddy. That's what she called Papa. Papa was coming for her. It was the next morning that Mom passed away. And the time that we went to the funeral, my brother and I got in our rented car behind the hearse that was going to Mom's final ride and her final resting place. And all of a sudden a vision came over me of Papa and her walking hand in hand across the field of beautiful flowers. The colors I cannot explain. The colors have no names to them. And they were young again, like 20 years old. And I knew the promise of God is always true. God bless you.